Hello and welcome to another episode of our World of Work interview with series. My name is Joe and I'm an event and hub coordinator here at Pathways. And today I'm going to have an interview with Lizzy here.
Hi.
Hello. So hopefully you've seen the other episodes in this series. If not, this is just a kind of a short interview with session about students at university and kind of like how they got onto their course and understanding their roots and where they potentially will go on to next. So today we have Lizzy, and we're going to get straight away into the first question, and that is, what course are you doing and where are you studying?
So I'm studying at Loughborough University, and I'm currently studying politics, philosophy, and economics, also known as PPE. But
Wonderful.
usually when I say PPE, people don't know. So.
Not quite the PPE that's obviously being used at the moment in hospitals.
At the moment.
But no, that sounds brilliant. Thank you. So, what sort of subjects did you take in order to get to the course that you're studying in right now? Did you go through A levels? Did you do a different route? What was kind of your journey?
Yeah, so there was a joint sixth form onto my secondary school that I went straight into. Didn't really think about looking around. I kind of do regret that a little bit, because after spending 7 years in one place and then doing 2 more, it can be a lot. But does that make... Oh no, there was 7 in total, 5 first and then 2. But as you can tell, like it felt like forever. But it was a good sixth form, and I did do 3 A levels. I started off with 5. Because I was thinking of going into some kind of science field. So I did like maths, physics, further maths, German and economics. And within 2 weeks, I was like, that's absolutely not what is right for me whatsoever. I don't know what I was thinking. Or what I do, there was a lot of pressure to go into STEM. But I finally realised that my passion was really for history. So within 2 weeks of starting my A levels, I changed, and I was then studying English, history, German, and economics. And then my sixth form did something where they wanted you to do 4 subjects in year 12, and then if you wanted to drop one, you could. I did. It's a lot of work. 3 A levels is more than enough for me, so I ended up doing economics, German, and history. So there was no like specific requirements like there are for STEM subjects with PPE. All they ask is that you've got sort of an essay-based subject. So for me, that was history. And you also write lots of essays in economics as well. So that gave me sort of the good set of skills to be able to apply for that discipline that I was looking to do. But just as an FYI, I did initially apply for history and politics at Loughborough, and I went in last year into a history and politics course and decided sort of in semester 2 that it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I really missed the economics element of my A levels. So when I heard that there was a new PPE course coming out, which is actually brand new this year, wow. I was talking to my tutor and I was like, please, can you try and get me on this course? And they were amazing, and they managed to facilitate a transfer for me. So I'm back in first year, but I'm doing a course that is absolutely perfect for me. So I'm really happy.
That's incredible. And like, wow, what a change to go from 5 A levels to 4. I mean, German and economics stayed the same, but the rest was kind of like a big shift. And even changing at university, I think that's kind of something that maybe students don't appreciate, the fact that stuff isn't set in stone. It's not like perhaps GCSEs, where it is very much, there are stuff that you have to do and there's no real way of avoiding that. The fact that you can kind of, go for what works for you, kind of what you're interested in, or, what you're strong at, rather than like, no, you've made this choice now, you've got to stick with it. So I think that's such an amazing message to share. So thank you very much for that. And also really cool that you're going to be the very first graduates, part of the very first, year of graduation for that specific course. So
yeah, I'm really quite proud, because I managed to be my course rep as well for this course. So I don't know, I feel very passionate about the PPE course. And the great thing that the lecturers are doing is they're getting our feedback all the time on like how we feel about the modules, because philosophy is something completely new to Loughborough. But because it overlaps into the other disciplines, we've already got some like amazing academics who have managed to take on that as well. And they're getting our opinions on what speakers we want. Like we're having having leading philosophers and political theorists come in, and they're asking, do you want this one or this one? So we really are tailoring our own course. It's really cool.
I mean, yeah, definitely something that you wouldn't be able to do at, you know, secondary school, or even at sixth form college. So the fact that you can kind of, yeah, tailor it to your needs and wants, that sounds fantastic. I'm quite jealous, to be honest, if the fact that you've got that so much freedom. So no, that's brilliant. Thank you. So in talking about your course, obviously you say that it's your first year and obviously only a few months in, and a lot of that has been affected by the pandemic, but kind of what skills have you been able to sort of develop and work on throughout your course?
So Loughborough makes sure that you get a group project in no matter what subject that you're doing, because in the world of work that we have today, like group presentations and group work is so important, and those are really big like workplace skills that you need. So I did a microeconomics project with two of the guys that I'd never met before. We still haven't met actually. Oh wait, no, we did the presentation in person. It just didn't feel like we were there because we were like socially distanced with masks on. But we managed to organize it through teams, and we each had like different skills, because some of us had done A-level econ, some of us hadn't. Some were just like really keen readers into economics and stuff, and we all collaborated on that, and then managed to put together this project, which we got 4 marks for. So we were really pleased with that. And it was also really nice to meet other people on my course, because obviously right now it's a little bit difficult to do that, or at least have like a proper conversation with someone. So group presentation is definitely a big skill that I've learned. But another one that I've really had to learn this year is kind of self-discipline, which is a more like broad skill. Because, you know, with online learning, it's very easy just to be like, oh, I'll watch the lecture this afternoon, it's fine. But if it's a 9 a.m. and then you miss it and then you're sleeping in bed till like 2 p.m., it's not a good idea. I speak from experience. So self-discipline, getting up on time, giving yourself a routine, and making sure that you keep on top of the reading as well, because there's so much reading for a politics and history-based course. That's something that I'd struggled with in the beginning, but now I feel like I've got a crack on it.
No, and like two hugely important skills to sort of pick up on at university, but also, you know, in your future as well, they're going to be so crucial, because I imagine, you know, whatever you choose to go into, teamwork, as you say, is always something that you're going to need to use, and to have that sort of self-discipline. Again, I hope this isn't kind of like the situation that we're going to be in for a long time, but, you know, even out of the pandemic, self-discipline is such an important thing to have. So the fact that you can recognize how important it is, and sort of do your best to work on it now, is only going to help you in the future. So I think that's a great idea. So thank you very much for that. In terms of, you know, has the course been everything that you kind of expect it to be? Obviously, it's, again, as you said, it's a brand new course, so perhaps you didn't have that much expectations in place, but has it surprised you? Has it covered things that you weren't really expecting?
It has surprised me slightly, in the fact that the 3 disciplines, you know, politics, philosophy, and economics, are so much more interconnected than I ever realized before. Like, obviously I knew they were somewhat, otherwise they wouldn't just throw like 3 random subjects together. But in some of our modules, we're thinking about key like philosophers and thinkers like Kant and Rousseau, and then I go into my next module and with a different class, completely different lecturer, and we're still talking about the same people, but they're different angles on different issues. So it's making me understand how the world fits together a lot more than I realized. You know, at school we've got these very separate subjects altogether, and it can sometimes be difficult to understand how they all interplay in the real world. But this has allowed me to see that there is so much overlap, and it's just been really interesting to see how I can take bits from this and that, and it forms my greater understanding.
No, again, yeah, I think it's really nice that it's not 3 completely different aspects of the course. It all kind of like interlinks quite nicely, and you can kind of, yeah, sort of build that map up of linking things together. I think that sounds like a really cool course, to be honest.
I love it.
And then in terms of, because obviously you did economics at A levels and it's now obviously a big part of your course now, is there quite a big difference? Is it quite the same? Is it kind of like building on the fundamentals and just making it a little bit bigger and perhaps a little bit more complicated at university? Or is there that sort of big change? You know, how have you found it?
Yeah, there was definitely a bit of I think scaremongering in sixth form that like university is so much more difficult than sixth form. And it is a step up, that's true, but I found it was more of a step up in terms of lifestyle rather than like content. But equally, the economics part of my course right now is an introductory module. So it's designed for people that might not have taken economics A level, because they really want to, make it as accessible as possible. Because people who are interested in philosophy and politics, they don't want to miss out on this great course just because they didn't take one A level. And obviously there's like a mathematical aspect to economics as well. I'm not good at maths at all, and I was really worried about how much maths was going to be involved. But because it's introductory, they've taken it relatively slowly, so we've been able to like grasp things bit by bit. And now it is picking up the pace now that we've laid down like the fundamentals in semester one. But it definitely is accessible, and they've got loads of resources to help you along the way. Like we've got a maths support center that you can go to outside of hours and bring them like your work and be like, please help me, which I've done a couple of times.
So it does sound like it has got that sort of differences from A levels, but also at the same time it's kind of builds on certain aspects that you pick up, you come across at A level, just in case for the students that are completely brand new to economics. So I think that's probably a really good way to do it and benefits everyone. So no, that sounds good. So thank you for that. And then, what is the one thing that you would like people to know about your course if they're sort of thinking about applying to it?
Be prepared for the amount of reading. There is so much reading. I think I've got like one extract from a textbook and one journal article per module, like per week, and then also like introductory questions to like different seminars and stuff. Just basically a lot of reading. And I think I wasn't prepared for that in the history and politics degree that I was doing last year, and that's why I kind of fell behind. I was just overwhelmed with the amount of reading. And I've also got like possible dyslexia that I didn't quite realize about in secondary school, so that made it a little bit more difficult for me. But now that I'm doing this course that is like really, really interesting for me, it makes me want to do the reading. So I'm going to the library at 10 a.m. That was unheard of last year, and I'm doing my reading and I'm actually enjoying it. So you've got to make sure that it is 100% what you're passionate about, in order to motivate yourself to do the self-learning, because unlike possibly some of the STEM courses that other universities offer and Loughborough offer, it's less less in person, less guided. Possibly we don't have labs and stuff. You do have to put in that extra bit of work yourself in order to get the full understanding. But like I say, if you love it, then it doesn't feel like work, as cringy as that is.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like a nature of university, isn't it? In the sense that you can sort of pursue your passions, and if you do that, you do kind of get a little bit more out of it. Obviously there's instances where people want a certain job or career, and so that kind of influences the course that they go for. But if you don't really have that, then you can sort of like, this is the thing that I'm really passionate about. I want to do that, so I'm going to explore it. And that's literally what a lot of the courses are. It is self-exploration. Again, as you said, there's certain courses where this is the content, this is what you're going to study in class. But a lot of the time it is kind of like you do a little bit of contact time and then, go off and explore, find out what sort of makes you, keeps you interested and just enjoy it that way. So it's really, really, really insightful to hear the fact that you weren't aware of that kind of going into university, but now you've learned it, you're kind of making the most of it. And hopefully, are you enjoying the course?
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
And then finally, as you say, you're in your first year now, so sort of looking ahead in 2-3 years time, where do you see yourself? What kind of job, career do you hopefully want to be doing?
So the great thing about my course is that it gives you so many transferable skills. So even though like it's politics focused, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go into a job into politics. I was thinking about it for a while, but recent events have possibly shifted my mindset. I'm like, I don't know whether I'm cut out for that. So I'd really like, I think, to work in a university myself, in like the admin. So I've got a part-time job as a student ambassador for Loughborough, and I work at the library as well on their desk. And I really love like the kind of people setting and stuff like that. And also, you know, the writing that I've been able to do for my student ambassador blog, like the things that they contract me to do have been really fun as well. So those writing skills that I've got for my degree, the teamwork skills, and then the stuff that I've done as my part-time job have kind of shaped my idea of what I want to do going forward. So working in higher up in a university, that's one option. But I'm also possibly looking at becoming a counsellor. I know that's like probably completely different to what people expect when you say you're doing a PPE degree. But this PPE degree has made me reflect on the way people think and the way people are and human nature and stuff like that. And that has made me reflect on myself. And I've got a real passion for mental health and advocating for that. So I'm also looking at possibly doing a master's in counselling. And even though that sounds different to my degree, I've got those transferable skills that mean I can go and do a master's in something slightly different.
I think that is a wonderful message, in the sense that it's not always about that piece of paper that you get at the end. Like, yeah, you know, if you want to be a doctor, you're going to have to get that piece of paper in medicine, otherwise you're very likely not going to be allowed to do it. But for many of the other cases, it's all about the transferable skills, as you mentioned, that you learn on the course can sort of take you in so many different places. And I think that's sort of like, you know, really reassuring for some people to know, but also, you know, really inspiring, the fact that your experiences at university has helped shape you as much as the, you know, the course itself has. So I think that's kind of like a wonderful message to end on. So thank you very much for that, Lizzy, and thank you for agreeing to be a part of this project. Hopefully you've sort of helped inspire a lot of people that are interested in your course, or sort of you know, pursuing that in the future. And yeah, best of luck with the rest of your studies. Hopefully that kind of goes well, and you can kind of keep deciding what you do and shaping the course into your sort of own little university degree, rather than sort of being told exactly what you have to do. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you to you guys for listening and watching to this interview with series. Hopefully you found it very useful, and there's been a lot of information. If you do want to find out more, then please do check out on our other videos, and also look at the Pathways website, and also do your research. If this is something that you want to pursue, go onto UCAS, go onto the various different websites that you need to kind of get that useful information, so that you can help make the best choice that is right for you. But that is all from us today. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.